The Newsboys just dropped a statement during their recent show in Arizona. Let's hear exactly what they said.
Let's try this one. Here we go. Thank you, guys. That means a lot, and we're just so grateful to be here right now. And we wanted to come out before we play and just tell you for just a few minutes a little bit about what's been going on, if you don't know. And yeah, you can have a seat for just a second, and then you're going to be right back up on your feet. Okay. First of all, I'm Adam Agee, this is Jeff Frankenstein, and Jody Davis, Duncan Phillips. And we're the Newsboys. Duncan, Jody, and Jeff have been in the band for over 30 years. And my first tour with the band, my first experience with Newsboys was in 2007. I had a band called Stellar Card, and we got to go out and tour with these guys. And and we've known each other for a long time, and I've been blessed and honored to be a part of this band now for about 3 years. And so we've been doing a lot of life together. And as a lot of you guys know, our former lead singer for the last 15 years played his last show with us in November of last year. And in January, he came to us and he confessed that he'd been living a double life and he wanted to get help. And so he checked into a facility in Utah, and we encouraged him to do that. And we had to ask ourselves, what's next? And we prayed about it, and we all felt that God wanted us to move forward, and we felt like we still had a ministry and a mission to do, and so we continued to move on. And for the last 6 months, we've played everywhere from New York to Florida to California to right here in Arizona, and we have seen the most amazing people and the most amazing crowds, and we've seen the Spirit do things that it's been so encouraging, and we've just had the best time as a band with you guys on the road. And then a couple of weeks ago, our world was rocked by the devastating news about what that confession and what that double life really was. And we were shocked because in January he had mentioned a few things about substance abuse and some personal struggles he was having at home when he wasn't on the road, but never anything of the magnitude of what we read and what was reported, and never anything ever. He never said anything that could have made us ever think that it could possibly be a danger to others or anything like that. And so it was so shocking to us because it's not the guy that we knew. The guy that we knew that we'd been on the road with, he was our bandmate, he was our brother, and he was a friend to our families, to our kids. We got 14 kids between us, and he was a friend to our families. He would come over to our house and hang out. We'd go over to his house and take our kids over there and watch the Super Bowl at his house because it was awesome. And it's just been devastating for us. And our families have felt like our names have been just dragged through the mud because of all this. And it's really, really hurt our kids. And
love you guys. Love you. Love you. God is greater than that.
And as a result of all this and the the things that have come out that he's done, that he's confessed to. We've been dropped from our record label. We've had radio stations pull our music, and we've been canceled by promoters and venues all over the world, but not tonight. Not in Arizona. Not in my home state. Not like Brian Cole and Extreme Faith Productions, who still believes in Newsboys. I grew up here. I've known Brian and the Extreme Faith crew for 20 years. Went to Arizona State University. I met my wife here. I was a part of starting many churches here, one including The Bridge, who we started right there. My youth group's here tonight. My pastors, my friends are here. My family's here. And we felt love in the pre-show meet and greet. We feel so much love right now. We cannot wait to have a great show with you guys tonight and worship together. Thank you for being here. We love you. We'll see you again.
That speech? It wasn't healing, it was betrayal. Not just to the fans who came hoping for truth, but to the survivors, the ones who suffered in silence. They took the stage with serious faces, voices trembling just enough to seem sincere. And somehow, they made it all about themselves. Their image, their pain, their so-called cancellation. Let's be honest, you weren't canceled, you were called out. Because for over a decade, you stood beside a man whose behavior wasn't hidden, and you said nothing. You were there, in the hotels, backstage, on those long drives between cities. You saw things, and you looked the other way. So now that the fallout is here, you act surprised? But the most disturbing part? Not once did they speak about the people who mattered most. No mention of the women harmed, no sorrow for the trust destroyed, no ownership of their silence. Instead, we got a carefully rehearsed performance. A sob story about how they've been hurt, how they feel misunderstood, as if they're the ones who need comfort. Come on. You knew Michael. You lived beside him. You watched it all unfold. And now we're supposed to believe you were clueless? This wasn't ignorance. It was a choice. You chose silence. You chose safety. You chose self-preservation. And now, with the truth screaming through every headline, you scramble to play the victim? We're not buying it, not anymore. What makes this even harder to stomach is the complete lack of self-awareness. They stood on that stage, drowning in self-pity, and yet not one word, not one breath, for the real victims. No names, no faces, no acknowledgement of the women who were manipulated and discarded. No recognition of the trauma, no regret for the years of silence. Nothing. Just more of the same. We're hurting. We've been canceled. We're misunderstood. Victims? You think you're the victims? While the real survivors sit in silence, unseen, unheard, erased from the story. And the crowd? That might have been the most disturbing part of all. Standing ovations, cheers, as if they were heroes instead of enablers. How do you clap for this? How do you cheer for men who refuse to take real responsibility? And to the Christian fans still defending it, you're not helping. You're enabling. You're choosing comfort over conviction. If these men were truly broken by what's happened, they'd step away. They'd stop the shows, shut down the tour, get off the stage, and do the hard work of repentance. But no, it's business as usual. Another crowd, another check. And that speech? Polished, perfect, scripted like a press release. You could hear it, every word crafted to soften the blow, to recast them as the ones who've been wounded. But the truth? They were never bystanders. They were shields. They were silent when silence was deadly. They knew, all of them. And now? Now they want grace? Now, after years of complicity, they want sympathy? Please, spare us. This was never about healing. It was never about justice. It's always been about the brand, about the money, about what sells. The label didn't cut ties out of moral outrage. They dropped them because the scandal made them unprofitable. That's the truth. This isn't heartbreak. It's business. Cold, calculated, shameful. Let's not sugarcoat it. Record labels don't back people. They back profit. They'll pour millions into albums, music videos, polished branding, not because they believe in the artist, but because the artist brings in revenue. And the moment that cash stops flowing, the moment the image is too messy to sell, they're out, just like that. And that's exactly what's happening now. Songs pulled from radio, tour dates vanishing, support fading into silence. This isn't accountability, it's damage control. The Newsboys aren't being held responsible. They're being dropped because they're no longer profitable. This was never about justice. It's always been about numbers, about protecting the bottom line. And here's the hard truth. From the very beginning, this was always about money. Money doesn't change who you are. It reveals you. If you're good, money highlights it. If you're corrupt, it rips the mask off. With Michael Tate, money didn't create the monster. It gave him a platform, a spotlight, a shield, the fame, the connections, the blind loyalty. It built walls around him, while others suffered in silence behind them. But now, those walls are crumbling, and the truth is stepping into the light.